Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a intuitive story for you if you have Pisces dominantly in your chart, if you're a cross watcher, or maybe something else drew you here. I personally usually resonate with all of the readings once I resonate with a reader, so maybe that's true for you as well, and you could have no Pisces in your chart and this reading could still be for you. Your reading starts with you diving deep into yourself in some way, shape or form. You start your reading with the deep diver diving into a task, and I think the task at hand is you going to a sort of therapy or a workshop or going on a retreat somewhere where you go deeper than you have been doing for a while or maybe even ever, not necessarily knowing what it is you want to find. You do go at it in a very sort of purposeful way, but of course once we do a deep dive we're never completely sure what it is that we're gonna get. And I think that you of course go into this workshop or therapy in the hope that on the bottom of this sea, or in the, however far you need to go down, you'll get a pearl, you'll find your big pearl. And this one comes out with the Six of Pentacles, telling me that there is sort of an exchange, for example, of money. So, you going to therapy or going on a retreat or other, in order to do this deep dive is sort of what is happening, or maybe has been happening. But what happens when you do dive deep is that you come back to an old memory of something that you weren't expecting to go there, but it sort of brings you back to an earlier stage in your life where you were left by yourself or alone in a time or place where you completely didn't expect that, where it was you were expecting something completely other than being alone. You were actually expecting community or togetherness, and instead you were actually left alone to do a lot of work. This card, the way it comes out is that it looks like these doors are opening, and we've been, as the viewer, we've been in a hall with a big celebration, sort of like at a wedding. Maybe your wedding, you've been at your wedding, and this could be an actual wedding or a sort of a metaphorical one, and you're ready to step out of the feast and start this hopefully happy marriage. But instead of sort of the marriage manifesting, it's like, here's your broom, Cinderella, now get to work. That situation somehow manifested in your life at an earlier point. It could also be family, home family, that you thought there was going to be a lot of togetherness, but really you were actually left alone with a lot of work, and kind of just, oh, okay, well then I guess I'll take the broom and I'll get to work, is how this is coming out. So sort of just being left, and I think it doesn't look very sort of sad, or, I mean, of course it would have been, but it's more like you never really worked through those feelings at that time, because maybe you didn't really realize that it was happening, or you were just so surprised by it, or you might have been really young and you didn't know any better, so you just thought, oh, okay, well then I guess I'll do that. And you have been doing that. You've been doing some work in a situation that was actually supposed to be about love and community and togetherness, but it wasn't. And you've been doing that work that you were asked to do for quite a while. You've been doing it for so long that you, in metaphorically being this broom, has turned into a whole oak. Like you've actually incredibly transformed this work that you were asked to do into something, like a giant, like, a real force of nature, and something very solidified and strong and archetypal and mythical. You've really made that out of yourself. It's, you started out as Cinderella, but at this point you're one of those sort of, I can't remember, it came up in another reading a little while ago, what they're called, those talking trees in the Lord of the Rings, but those. But at this point that you have been reaching in an earlier time, it's like that old pain starts emerging. So you've been doing the work, but here, if you see this crying face, and it's called the wailing tree. So the pain starts emerging at some point. It can't stay hidden forever. And maybe you needed to solidify yourself quite a lot in order for this pain to come out and be healed, because you had to be strong enough to deal with it. And that time has come. Because it's also a little bit as if sort of this tree is on fire at this point, as if you can't put it out, you can't put it out, maybe put the fire out, but that's not what I meant. I mean, you can't push it in front of you anymore. It needs to be dealt with, and you may also have been having sort of a sense of that, which is why you've been going on this deep dive. So you realize that you actually have this old pain or sorrow, or this betrayal maybe, or loss that was never completely addressed. Like, you thought you were, it's almost like you thought you were going to a party, and something really beautiful was gonna come out of it, and then sort of the opposite happened. And it looks like there might be another person involved in this memory. And that person could be somebody that you actually know from this life, sort of a lost love, or it could be somebody that you know through other lifetimes, something that your soul remembers that you had a plan to meet here. Or maybe just, somehow in your bones or in your heart that there's somebody that you're supposed to meet, but it's been quite a while because these two cards come out. So the Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles, showing me that this is sort of the person that you may have met at an earlier point. But now that you have been turning into a whole oak and some time has passed, something has been happening with that other person as well. They've also been maturing, growing older, all of that. But this is showing me that if we're talking about a specific other person, or we could just be talking about family or relationships, or even meeting somebody that's like really the one, or something very close to your heart, it's been a long time coming. There's quite a time expanse from when you thought they were gonna manifest until now, when they're actually manifesting. And they've changed, or your image of them has changed. The whole thing has changed. But this wish that you have, this longing for that happy home or marriage or committed partnership that never manifested, that is intact. You're still longing for that, and you're longing for it to the point where you're now crying out to the universe and saying, where is it? Why is this not coming? Why is it taking so long? Where's my love? And of course, also sort of yourself realizing, oh, but I actually have to look at this pain first, which is also why you're actually doing a deep dive at this point, because this pain is sort of trapped in the tree and needs to come out. But what is about to happen, and what wants to happen, and what you're dreaming of, is that you meet up with this person, and that it's like you get a do-over. you get to be children together again, or you get to be childlike together, and you get to sort of do new bunting and sort of, you know, start over, planning the party again and getting it right this time. And I see this, but I see this is not, this is without heaviness to it. That's what's so beautiful. It's just, it's so light, so loving. It has a simplicity. It's like you're sitting on a farm when the day is over and you've done your chores, and just sitting and talking and watching the sun go down. It just looks like simple living, nature, beauty, togetherness in a very sort of simple, loving way. And you're longing for this, and you know in your soul that you were promised this, and this wants to manifest. So that's also really at this point why you're doing this, because you've realized, yeah, maybe there's something that I need to do, because otherwise this should have been here a long time ago. And it's like that deep dive is showing you, yes, actually, you know what, Pisces, you can help this process along quite a bit if you free the pain from being frozen or, you know, embedded into what you are. So like taking the pain out so that you're free to be this, so that you are not the pain anymore. And you might have become that because you never really took it out and like really looked at it the way you're doing now. And so this process is being overseen by spirit. This in the hand, the universe is your partner, comes out, but it comes out in the reverse. And the reason why I'm laughing is because it wants to say, yes, but we want to take you to your partner. It's not like you need to be married to God, or, I mean, you know, if you know, you can be that as well, but it's not the only sort of love that you're gonna get, so to speak. And so I just see it's like, it's this hand of spirit that's being held over you, because what you're doing is really incredibly beautiful and vulnerable, you know, taking out this old pain that you haven't looked at for a really long time. So that there has to be a lot of light and protection around you while you're doing it. And then you mirroring that by just sitting here sort of, you know, letting a new tree grow out of this, I guess, inner work that you're doing. And you know, you, spirit holding its hand over you, and you holding your hand over this new creation that is in a way a new you, that is you without the pain, finding out how you can be you without that. And it, you know, it being sort of a process of things sort of growing. It's not, you can't just make a decision like, now I'm gonna be somebody else, or now I'm gonna be this, that, or the other. I'm not gonna have any pain anymore. It's sort of another type of process than that. But it is very protected and beautiful. It also has sort of this one reminding me again also of this nature energy, that there's something about nature that is really, really, really nurturing to you in this process. And so I see you looking towards the stars, or looking to the universe, or looking to spirit, maybe praying or meditating, excuse me, and looking for your love. Right here you are, the observer, trying to know when is this person coming in. I mean, when are we ready to have our do-over? Because also I forgot to mention that this one comes out with reconciliation, and this card is called mending. So it does seem very much like it is an old relationship, something that you've known from before, where there's a process of rebuilding it, or fixing also maybe an old pain between you. And so you're looking for it. You're sort of ready for that reconciliation to come in, and ready to do the mending, and really ready to not be in the pain anymore. But these two cards come out, the Fool's Embrace and the Queen of Swords, and they are talking about the pain and what this process is like, because here I see you in the one card, I see you sort of being very much in the pain. It's also called transmuting pain, so this doesn't look very comfortable. But in this one, you're incredibly peaceful, you're really, really strong, you're very independent, you have found your peace with your life and how everything unfolded, and how you know, that pain and that maybe disappointment, big disappointment that you felt at an earlier point. And so the message that these two cards are bringing is that your hope is that you can sort of transmute the pain and then move into this, because you really want to be done with the pain, and you want to get to the reconciliation part, and to the, you know, building and up of the relationship again, and the do-over. But this is saying the thing that brings you there is the pain. So you know, the important part is to not try to avoid the pain, because this moon that comes out as sort of your pearl, or you know, the thing that you're looking for, because moon is very much about sort of home and mother, and I mean, that's how it's coming out today, and also getting the pearl in a way that you've been deep diving for. So it's really, really big every time you're in the pain, meaning that the pain has message for you. And every time you sort of feel the longing, or the you remember something that's painful from your past, or however it manifests for you, it's really important that you stay in it, stay with it, and transmute it. Actually welcome it, bless your pain. Every time it's there, say thank you. Maybe that's the only thing you need to do. Maybe that in itself will be the process. But it's really just welcome it, because every little piece of that is bringing you into more power and strength, and into the space that you need to be in, to be a frequency match to your king. Don't worry about the genders, it can be whatever, it's just a metaphor. Yes, so I hope I'm making myself clear about this. I'm sorry about touching my nose. It's just my nose always starts running when I do these readings. But it's to say, don't hide from the pain, don't shun it, don't move it away. And I think you probably already know that, which is why you're showing up for a deep dive. It's just a reminder, I guess, that every time the pain is there, it's like the medicine is there too, or the healing is there too. Every time there's a question, there's always the answer. Or it's just that when you feel the pain or the longing, it's actually an invitation to be with it, and then by doing that, taking a step closer to your dream and becoming this, which apparently is what you're meant to become this Queen of Swords, so that you can meet your king. So it is sort of a process where you learn to also master yourself mentally, because it looks like you are willing to show up for sort of the emotional work, but there's also sort of a mental component to this, where it's about how you think about the pain, and to invite it, in, to make it your friend is the most efficient thing you can do. And how it's unfolding then is that it's really bringing you, if you do this exercise, if you befriend your pain, it will become peace. It becomes peace. And once you are peace, you can start co-creating, meaning you are then on the frequency where you can meet up with this other person that you're meant to meet up with. So you know, running away from the pain in some sense is actually also running away from your reconciliation. So it's really important for you to show up for it, because it'll bring you to this that much faster. So it's sort of in a way like if you have a lot of longing for it, then, you know, bless the longing, thank the longing, be with that. Instead of, I guess what we mostly do is that we would try to just think about something else, or, you know, maybe even get angry with ourselves that we feel that way, or, you know, all of these bad strategies that we have that are actually not very loving. But if you love your pain will turn to love. That's the message. And then not only will you have your reconciliation that is meant to happen, you will also become a very wise Pisces. You'll come to this deep knowing, this incredible understanding with the owl and the moon and some other planet, maybe Neptune. That's actually, it's like you'll get what you want in this life, but it's like your soul is going to be so enriched as well, so incredibly enriched, and you'll feel it in every part of your cells and body and bone, and you know, it'll feel so much different. You'll know why everything unfolded as it did. You'll know why you did all this work. You'll understand it was not a waste in any way, shape, or form. It was incredibly important. It just unfolded in a way that was not exactly how you thought it was going to be, or how you would traditionally do it. But you'll feel in your soul how important it was. Yeah, it will be very, very peaceful. Yeah. So I think that was your reading, Pisces. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, please leave me a like or a share or a subscription or a comment. Yeah, thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, Pisces.